Welcome one and all, I'm Decoy, and we got major news out of the recent Inside the Vault, specifically in regards to the removal of legacy weapons and hacked weapons. But before I get into that, I do want to explain what's going on the screen. For those of you who weren't around way back when Mischief Night was a thing, I dug through some old footage and found us some Mischief Night gameplay, which is pretty freaking cool to go back and kind of get to relive it a little bit. Now, I'll be the first to admit that Mischief Night had its problems. It could get pretty laggy at times with all the robots and the explosions and the absolute mayhem that was going on. It needed work, all right? It's unfortunate that it didn't get the work it needed and just got removed outright and no one gets to enjoy it anymore. But now on to the main topic. So, if you read through the Inside the Vault, you came across this one little article right here. It says, upcoming weapon changes. Players who tried out Nuka World on tour while it was on the public test servers are aware that we originally planned to release a new system that combats illegal attachment combinations to weapons that violate the EULA. We need a bit more time to implement this than originally projected, and as a result, we will not be releasing this system with the Nuka World on Tour update on Tuesday. As we continue to work on it, we will keep you up to date on its arrival in a future Inside the Vault. Wow, I feel like there probably should have been like a comma somewhere in that first sentence, because that's a long read without a break. So it appears legacies and hacked weapons are here to stay, at least for a little bit longer. Now, the rumor mill is just running wild right now. A lot of speculation out there. We've got some people speculating that the statement from Inside the Vault is actually more to cover up the fact that Bethesda has suddenly realized that they're losing a bunch of players and money out of the game over the removal of legacies, and us being in the fourth quarter, especially close to the end of the year, perhaps they're worried about their books and they're trying to just save this until the start of the new year, when it won't affect their books quite as bad. So I'm not real sure about that one, but the other one is fairly interesting, and these people are claiming that you have to pay attention to the wording in the statement, specifically over the EULA, for those who don't know, is End User License Agreement. And they're saying that the way Bethesda was going about it and how things were worded, that if they continued forward with their plan, that they may have opened themselves up to some legal action. And they've got to kind of pump the brakes a little bit and figure out how to go about readdressing the issue in a way that would save them from some form of litigation. Again, I'm not really sure. I'll admit, I've never read the entirety of the End User License Agreement. My gosh, that's a boring read. You would think Bethesda, with all their storytelling abilities, could, spice up the EULA just a little bit and keep the reader's attention. But yeah, alright, enough slight joking aside. I realize that right now, the two main sides of this argument, the legacy players are pretty excited that they get to keep their items, at least for the short term. And the other side, the anti-legacy crowd, is extremely disappointed by the fact that legacies are going to stay for any amount of time. But to be fair, when they tried to implement this in the test server, there were a lot of issues. And I know I've seen some from the anti-legacy side say that they would much rather have legacies go away and deal with Bethesda breaking a bunch of other things. But to be honest, I mean, breaking stuff is kind of what got us to this point to begin with. And yeah, it's probably best that they take their time and address this appropriately. Now, I will admit that there is a slight bit of hope within me that maybe they will take this time to reevaluate how to handle the situation, because while the two sides are both on extremes of keep them super powerful or completely take them out, I kind of run the middle ground where I want them to stay, but I don't want them to stay quite as they are now. Because, to be fair, legacies didn't really seem to be a problem way back in the day. Now, I realize someone's going to mention duping, but I don't think it's duping that was the major problem. I mean, it was definitely a contributing factor, but Bethesda buffing them, that was the real problem. So, well, the legacies were powerful before. They are ridiculously powerful now in comparison due to Bethesda buffing them. And what they should really do is just take the time to nerf legacies. It is not rocket science. Just trust me on this. Just run with it. Alright? It's not rocket science. They have the ability to nerf them. Trust me. Alright? Take the time. Nerf them. Bring them down to, say, the power level of some of the top tier weapons in the game. Then reintroduce them. You can either put them in the drop pool, make them some super rare reward, make it something that maybe only Graham sells or Minerva or something. Alright? Then everybody has the chance to play with them again. And I feel like, realistically, the community wins as a whole. Will the people who wanted them to stay OP be disappointed? Yes. Will some of the people who just wanted them outright removed be disappointed? Yes. But the whole community will benefit from the fact that they're not breaking... Once nerfed, they're not going to break anything anymore. It's just going to work. Alright? And that's the motto. It just works. Hop down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on all of this. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please remember to like, sub, and share. Later.